So I'm not really in a rush to trade Brian Reynolds. If somebody's got a young major league pitcher who would slot in, fine, but I have a hard time believing that a team is going to part with that type of player to get Brian Reynolds.
Plus, to your point, they still have many years. They can do this again next year if need be, if they get closer to it and they need some more pitching or whatever the case may be. Let's go to JB in Squirrel Hill. What's up, JB?
Hey, JB.
How are you guys?
We're good. What's up?
Okay, so, Hoff, I called you several months ago about Hextall, and I said he's grossly incompetent.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason really was, how do you not address the goalie after, like 2 years ago after the debacle? I mean, he ran the Flyers into the ground.
Yep.
He's bad. Tony, you're exactly right on this.
Well, I will say this, that, again, you can't anticipate an injury taking out your number one guy for the majority of that series. Unfortunately, that happened again. I still think they have other concerns with him and them. And when I say them, I'm talking about Brian Burke. I'm not sure what the message is. If they want to keep this group together, then just do it. And if they don't, then, you know, the time has come and maybe even passed to get the kind of stuff you need in what would have been a trade. And so now you save money, you have money to spend. But now, if you do get rid of Letang or Malkin, one or two, you better come up with some players and you better figure it out pretty quickly.
Well, I think JB's also referring to a report this afternoon that the Penguins are close to another deal with Casey DeSmith. Why? He's been injured twice when they've needed him most. He's an average backup goaltender at best. If you can't trust him come playoff time, why would you want to broker another deal with the guy? Because he's cheap? What is that all about?
That's probably an answer, yeah. And I think at some point they're going to have to deal with money in Jari. I still think the Fleury situation could come to fruition here. I still believe that. I still think there is interest.
Well, not if they sign Casey DeSmith.
Well, if
then
they
it ain't
do that,
happening.
no, and I wouldn't do that. I would put Fleury ahead of Casey DeSmith.
And let me give you another one, Bob. This Brian Burke quote from today where he told Sportsnet, I let Malkin know that I really can't even give him an idea for what kind of contract we're going to give him or if we even want him until we figure out Letang. Which, that's logical. But if you're Evgeny Malkin, how would you feel about being put on the back burner like that?
Yeah. Especially
hey, we can't even really
15
negotiate with you.
No. Well,
right.
And the thing is, Letang is going to outprice himself here. And it sounded yesterday in Brian Burke's quote like he's not interested in doing anything except what is on their terms. And if that's the case, you're not going to get either of them probably. And if that's the case, you better make sure you go out and spend that wisely on somebody. But there's not a whole bunch out there.
But what makes them think for these elite guys that are free agents that they're going to get bargains on them? You think they're going to get a deal on Kadri or Trocheck? You think they're going to get a deal on Klingberg, the Dallas Stars, big defense?
If you lose both of those guys, you're going to have plenty of money to spend. So you cannot. You obviously you could spend it on them, and it won't be cheap. You're going to have to pay the price. But if that's the case, you may as well pay the price to the guys who want to be here. And if
that's
they both
what I'm saying.
leave, if they both leave, then I wonder what Sidney Crosby thinks about everything. And to the caller's point, JB, he's right that Hextall is a very conservative general manager. He doesn't go and make moves that would inspire a fan base like Rutherford did. And I'm not saying you have to do that all the time, but what I am saying is every now and then you have to have, you're in a position to win, you think you could win, go out and give me somebody who could be very helpful. The fact is they signed Jeff Carter at age 38, and they believe he can play for 2 more years. Well, that takes him to 40. You don't think Chris Letang can play at a level similar or maybe a step less in years 4 and 5 than he is right now? I think so. He could probably play to his 42.
I think so, too.
So that doesn't make a lot of sense.
I mean, you go to Sidney Crosby and you say, hey, Sidney, sit down for this one. We replaced Evgeny Malkin with Andrew Kopp. I mean, come on.
I don't think that'll happen.
Think about that. That sounds ridiculous.
All right. We got to go to a break. We'll take it and come back with more. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, Pittsburgh CW and 93.7 The Fan.